All right, gang, we'll go ahead and get rolling. A couple of announcements. Please silence your cell phones. Remember to provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question. If you're on Zoom, we'll get to you once we're done addressing the questions in the room. And as a reminder, press conferences are not to be recorded on cell phones or cameras. We'll start with an opening statement from head coach Mark Kellogg.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, ton of credit to Coach Banghart, that team, what they've done, their performance tonight. I thought it might be a game a little bit like that, to be honest. It was two elite defensive teams. I thought it might be a little bit of a slugfest. Certainly thought we had a little better offensive performance in us, and it just wasn't our night on the offensive end, and certainly they had a lot to do with that. And so, again, congrats to them, and good luck as they move forward. But really, I'm just so proud of our group. I'm proud of the seniors. I think we always talk about leaving a legacy, leave it better, things better than what you found, or what it was when you started at whatever place that is. And I think these guys did that, and we've had a heck of a run. We had a great season. Did we fall a little short in some of our goals? Yes, we did. But that's sport, that's life. In this tournament in particular, only one team is going to finish with a win. We're not going to be that one. But like I said, I couldn't be more proud. Special group of players that, for me 2 years ago when I got the job, you have a vision, you try to paint a picture, and you hope that those current players, which these two to my right were a part of that roster, would of course stay, but ultimately just buy into what we were doing. And they did that, and they've just been so much fun to coach, and we have a great environment, and we've changed the way, I think our program has been looked at. We've been a perennial top 25 team. Our attendance numbers have kind of shot through the roof. We have great players, staff, administrators, just to do something really, really special. So I hope we can continue to build off of it, use this as a growing pain for those that are coming back. But again, super proud of them, proud to be the coach of some really, really talented individuals.
We'll start with questions for our student athletes, J.J. Quinterly and Kaya Watson, down in the front.
Tanner Brown, 292 Radio. JJ, obviously not the outcome or probably performance that you were hoping for tonight, but when you look back on it, when it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered as a Mountaineer?
I hope to be remembered as probably one of the best guards to ever play at West Virginia University. I think I did a lot under a lot of different coaches, and honestly, like he said, I think I left a legacy here, and I left the program better than it was when I first came in.
For Kaya and JJ, can you just talk about, it just seemed like there were moments in the game that were tough matchups for you guys, whether it was Utsby or Maria when she was in the game down low. Can you just talk about the struggles in defending some of those matchups at different times in the game?
I'll just say, I think they did a good job of maybe finding mismatches. We just couldn't really get stop after stop, and that kind of hurt us. But, I thought our effort was there, so.
JJ?
Honestly, same thing as she said. We couldn't pull stops. We couldn't get any kills, like Coach Kellogg says, and kind of just wore on us as the game go. The score get a little wider, so just, yeah.
Down in the middle.
Luke Blaine, Daily Athenaeum. So, JJ, a lot's been made of you, sticking around through 3 coaching changes at WVU, especially in the era of the transfer portal. What has kept you in Morgantown, and what has WVU meant to you during your 4 years?
Honestly, the group of girls that I had around me, like Kaya Watson, Jayla Hemingway, those girls that stayed, Kylie Blackston, those girls who stayed, especially Jordan Harrison. I could have left probably any time in my career and probably could have went anywhere in the country. And I chose to stay in West Virginia just to make that legacy that I told y'all about earlier. And like I said, I think I've done that, and yeah.
Debbie Stroman, Chapel Borough. Can you speak to the crowd and the noise and being an away game, so to speak?
Kaya, you want to take this one?
I'd say it's kind of like any game, I don't think anything kind of will compare to what we played at last year at Iowa, but, they had a good number of fans come out, so it's always awesome to see. But I think for the most part, we just tried to stay together, kind of tune it out, play our own game.
Coach, Quentin Roby from U92.
Sir, well, student athletes first, and then we'll get to Coach.
able to get anything going. What was kind of your mindset to kind of flip the switch there in the fourth quarter? You were able to get to the foul line a couple of times. What was kind of your mindset going through that?
I'm pretty hard to guard on the perimeter, so just attacking them, I would say, never mind, but yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Kai, we've talked about Jay after this point, but you come beyond that. So, for your perspective, looking back over
I would say that each year I was there was special. I can't thank Coach Kellogg and the coaching staff enough. I love all of them. They've helped me grow as a person, both on and off the court. My teammates, all my 3 years were great, and the fan base in West Virginia is awesome. They love us. We love them. So I think just that, I'm going to miss that.
Megan Smith, the Daily Tar Heel. Question for JJ or Kaya. Just what's it like trying to handle someone who's so dynamic like Alyssa Usby? How is that in game time, trying to just limit her possession, limit her shots?
Kaya,
I would say just trying to make it as difficult as we could for her to even catch the ball, kind of push her out to, further away from the basket. But, she's a good player. She scored, got to the free throw line. So, we didn't do a great job, but.
Anything else for our student athletes? Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach Kellogg?
Oh, great. Out of here.
Justin Jackson with the Dominion Post. Can you just talk about the defensive matchups? I'm sure it probably didn't go quite how maybe you had envisioned on paper, and did their size and athleticism really kind of make a difference in this game?
Yes, they scored 58 points. Right? I don't think it was our defense. It was our offense. We shot 24%, right? What do we shoot, 24? Yeah, we shot 24% and 9.5% from the three. It's going to be hard to win when you score 47 points. We can win games holding teams to 58. So I thought our effort on the defensive end was really good. I thought we competed. I thought we held them down long enough to see if we could make a run. We never made any runs. So I don't know the kills and the stops, but when we hold somebody to 58, there's going to be some pretty good defensive possessions. Obviously, Utsby got us. Like, that was the one. That was the matchup problem. I think, what did we have, one possession where was there 4 fouls, I think, all on her on the out of bounds, and we had 3 or 4 different people trying to defend her. So we tried man, tried zone. It was a little bit of a matchup problem. I played against her. I don't remember. I think maybe she was a sophomore when we played against them in the NCAA tournament, and she's worked hard on her game and her ability to stretch it and shoot it, and always been a huge fan of hers from when we prepared for them a few years ago. So fantastic player, but they're great. They're great defensively. They can spread you. They have different people offensively. I think that's the hard matchup from the offensive end, is they just have so many kids, and you don't know who it's going to be on each night. So with, Maria gets 5 points, and that's their leading scorer. Certain ways you would think you'd have a really good chance, but then you let Utsby get 10 plus, over her average. So that was probably more disappointing from the offensive end than what we did defensively.
Cody Nesper, West Virginia Sports Now. Mark, the second year in a row, it seemed like the whistle got tighter in the second half. Is that just the way tournament games go, and how hard does that make it, down the stretch?
Yeah, it was. There wasn't a lot of flow. I didn't think to that game. I don't know that I have another comment really. I didn't think the whistle necessarily went our way, but we're on somebody else's home floor. Officials have human nature too. Crowd gets into it, they feed it, but it wasn't. That had nothing to do with the outcome.
Quinn Roby, U92. In the first quarter, you switched from that man-to-man press to the zone. Do you feel like it was did you do that to give your offense a bit of a spark since it was kind of stalled out there?
We tried several different things. I don't know that we went to it maybe as early as you were thinking, but we did mix it up a little bit just to, which is normal for us. That's not abnormal. It's just to keep them off balance and give them different looks. And switch from man to zone and those types of things. And yeah, we just never got a rhythm. And so we were trying to, how can we help an offensive rhythm? I think we lose by 11, and they beat us by 12 on points off turnovers, and that's typically a stat that we win. But we got to the free throw line. We didn't shoot threes very well. We did some things okay. Actually beat them second chance points, which isn't a strength of ours. And so our best strength of all is turning people over, and we didn't do a very good job of that in this game, and that's a credit to them.
Tanner Mounts, U92 Radio. Coach, you touched upon the seniors. I'm just wondering what they meant to this program, because there's a lot that have played for a while, and how hard can it be to keep the program moving upward when you lose a group like that?
Yeah, well, they've meant a lot, obviously, and all of their journeys have been really different. Obviously, we've talked about JJ's journey. Kaya's journey was different than Kylie's journey, and there's other seniors that, didn't get in the game tonight that, were a part of this basketball team that had a different journey. Tirza had a different journey. So all great stories, really close group. That's what I've enjoyed most about my 2 years here so far, is just it's an easy team to coach. They're just really good kids. They do the right things. They work hard. It's fun to show up to work every day when you have a staff and team like we've had over the last couple years. And, so no, that's part of coaching, is trying to sustain it now. Like, kids graduate every single year, so that's not abnormal. And finding scoring is typically okay. We're going to lose some quality players, and we understand that. And so now you go to the portal, I guess. That's how you go about it at this point.
Cody Nesper, West Virginia Sports Now. Mark, there's probably not a single answer to this, but how do you think as a program you kind of get over the hump to hosting and into the Sweet 16 and make that next step?
Well, win more games, I guess. Continue to play the schedule, win the games, the right ones. That was, for us, we didn't win enough probably in the quad one, to get the home game. I think we're close. Obviously, we're closer now than we were a year ago. So I think we're at the doorstep. I keep saying every time I get into this game, though, the advantage of playing at home is significant. And if that's the rules of the NCAA, then we need to continue to work really, really hard to see if we can get one of these in Morgantown, because I think that environment would be ridiculously off the charts and be so much fun for our community and our state. So we're going to go to work on that and see if we can't. But it certainly helps, I think, when you're playing at home in these first two rounds.
Daniel Woods, WV Metro News. Kaya, the last couple of years, has been the unsung hero of this team in a lot of ways. And tonight, kind of a vintage performance from her, 9 points, 15 rebounds, couple of steals. And she really sparked the run where you guys took the lead in the third. Just as far as her play tonight and over your 2 years with her in Morgantown, what can you say about what she's meant to the program?
Yeah, I've routinely called her the glue of our team. She's the kid that I have the hardest time taking off the court because she does so much for us. And it's not always scoring with Kaya. I thought she was a little more assertive tonight. The rebounds, which at one point I said, just go get every rebound, please. I don't know what else to tell them. Just go get every one of them, which she has the ability to do. But, the great part, too, is if you've seen Kaya just transform her body into this elite athlete. She's so fast twitch and just so explosive and a phenomenal defender. Reluctant at times to score, so that was always our, kind of push for her was always, if you could be a little more aggressive offensively, that would be perfectly fine with the rest of us. But yeah, just fantastic kid, works hard in the gym a lot, just really easy, go lucky type kid. It's a pleasure to be around. So yeah, we'll miss her and several of them. Yeah, I think what you just described, and I guess they can tell you a little bit more about what that game plan was, but from our end, which we knew, we really thought they were going to work really hard to limit Jordan and JJ touches in the paint. They have bigger bodies, so they were going to take up a little more space. They were playing off Kaya a little bit, so I think SB, that was her matchup, so she was not completely all the way at the three-point line. And, I like the other night, I thought we got to the rim about when we wanted to. That was going to be more difficult tonight, so we spent time talking offensively about moving it, make it go side to side maybe first. We had some screening actions that we wanted to get to. At times we did, at times we just didn't trust it. Kept writing that on the board that we've got to trust each other. I thought when we cut, we got some really good layups, but it just wasn't enough. And then we had some good looks from three. Some were forced that were bad possessions, but I thought we had some good looks, and we knew we were going to have to make some threes to probably win this game. So I thought we needed 7 or 8 threes probably to win.
Tanner Mounts, U92 Radio, Coach, the WNBA draft just a couple weeks away. What would you say to any NBA team that might be considering drafting J.J. Quinerly?
Yeah, I mean, I think they, from what I know, they have all the information that they probably need. So they've been in communication with us, but she's going to have a great opportunity. She's going to play basketball beyond it. What I've said about J.J. all the time is ball in hand, I think she's as dynamic as any guard in the country. Defensively guarding the ball, I think she's as good as an on-ball defender as anybody, which she's now up for the Defensive National Player of the Year. So, I think she's a complete two-way player. She's going to be a little bit smaller, so somebody's going to have to figure out what that niche is, in the WNBA. But yeah, I hope she gets her number called on draft night and gets in a training camp and goes and makes us all proud, which she'll do regardless of what it looks like. But it's really hard, in the WNBA. There's first-round draft picks that don't necessarily stick on rosters. So the hard work is in front of her, but I think she's prepared, and the kid works at an ultimate level, always in the gym. She's put in the time. She wants to be great. She enjoys playing in the biggest games, which is probably why this one hurts the most for her.
Last one for Coach.
One more on JJ. Early on in the game, maybe second quarter, maybe late first quarter, it just seemed like maybe she was trying too hard, maybe. I don't know if you agree with that or not. You had to kind of take her out for a couple seconds to get her to settle down. Can you just kind of talk about just maybe how weird her beginning of the game was?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that she maybe was a little bit just probably excited, wanting to help her team. Just, trying too hard. I don't know. The kid was just trying to give us everything she could, and maybe things that worked the other night, she was just still trying to go back to that a little bit early. But yeah, it was take her out, let her calm down, catch her breath. I thought Jordan maybe was a little wound up also there early, and they're fumbling the ball around and those types of things. And that's another thing. We got to figure out this ball. These balls are like aired up way more than ever all year long. I don't know what the heck's going on here, but we got to get that figured out. But anyway, she was just sped up like we all were. Big game, a lot of emotion. We even wrote on the board to settle in quickly, kind of control your emotions. I thought we did that really well the other night against Columbia, and probably not quite as well tonight, at least to start.
Alrighty. Thank you, Coach. Congrats on a great season.
Thanks, everybody.